After viewing the settings of the capacity planner, let's see how it works, how to play with it. The planner will use the data of the order to perform the scheduling. So let's have a look at the order that we will schedule. Usually it's orders, this time for this introduction is one order. It's one order, number 22, where the order date is the 14th of October, which is today. So I'm recording this video on the 14th of October. The delivery date is the 31st, next 16 days. Okay, how is this order made? This order is made of two lines. There are two triple IG units where there are three distinct material, 4 clear, 5 clear and 5 CLT, with dimension which has been specifically designed to have some rounded value in the area and in the length, 50 units for each line. So we are dealing with 100 units, 200 spacers, and a total for each material about 1000 square footage. Last thing, delivery calculation mode is capacity. This means this will become by default when you import one order. This means that this order goes to the planner. If you don't want one order to don't go to the planner, it's enough that you come here and change this combo box to manual. It's not our case. We want to use the capacity planner for this order, which has delivery date 31st of October. Let's see how it works. We go in the Gantt chart. I put the last focus on the 31st of October because this is what I expected. The Gantt diagram by default uses a time range of 1 week, so from the 14th to the 21st. We have seen that our order has a delivery date, has a due date of 31st, so it's outside of this time range. The settings that I used last time, which is use the just-in-time algorithm, use the delivery date and exclude order with dates out of the interval. So I don't want to see on the screen and to perform the planning for order which has a delivery date, a due date, which is external to the interval shown here. I have two more options. One is, I go to the last one, use the date interval limit as start and date. It will mean I care the delivery date, but I will use the date at the right as due date for the just in time. So if I click here and I refresh, automatically I see my order, because if I click on schedule now, the program will use the just in time from the 21st, which is the date, which is also set from this combo box. If I want to keep the delivery date and just play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days before, I can use the third option, the one in the middle, change the date interval, this date interval, to fit all order. So like that, I change the option. The date interval will change to include all the dates of all the orders that are in the system. So I have only one order that goes to the delivery, and one that order has delivery date the 31st. I have extended the delivery date, the date interval to that date. Now, if we don't change anything, we will finish production on the 30th. So we will always schedule the day before. Otherwise, you can play with how many days before or after, in case of as soon as possible. We are in just in time, so how many days before to finish production. If I say 3, I want to finish my production 3 days before the delivery day, which is 1, 2, 3. As soon as I click schedule, I expect the planning to start to finish on the 28th. Exactly 1, 2, 3. Here skip 3 days. Here I see the result of my planning. What's the result of the planning? Let's see it a little bit more detail. Here we are. For each work order for each operation. You can see in these two columns the unit of measure used for that line to estimate the time. Here we are dealing with cut. We see that for cut we defined the work ID to square footage. It's 1000 square foot, which is converted in minute and cost. Cost and minutes are more or less the same thing. We will understand later what is the difference, if there is. 1000 square footage over a machine that is able to do 1300 square footage per hour, it means a time of operation of 46 minutes. So each cutting work order will require 46 minutes. The same is for the bending operation. Bending operation, we set the bend to count the elements and to have 35 spacer per hour. As we have 200, it's more or less 6 hours and something. That is exactly 345 minutes. So almost one entire day to plan to perform the bending. The closing is just 100 units and has been planned over the Bystronic. The Bystronic has a capacity of 45 units per hour. It's just 133 minutes. So how does the planner works? We defined for each operation a priority. So we plan the last operation, and in case of IG the last operation is the closing, and then we go back. So on Bystronic the last available hour is the 3 p.m. I do apologize if the video is recorded with European date and time format, but you will see in your computer that it uses the regional settings of the computer. So its schedule, it has reserved 133 minutes of the resource Bystronic for this closing. The bending with priority has been scheduled to be done before the IG, so it will finish exactly when the next one starts. So it will start exactly, the closing finishes at 12:46. The bending will begin at the same time and goes back for 345 minutes. Unfortunately, there is not enough time in that day to complete the bending. It means that the production, if we want to say to arrive in time on the 28th, is to start the 27th. If we want to don't split the production of the bending, I will introduce one of the features that we have added in this day, which is the move to date. I select the bending and I say move to date. With this combo I am telling the system, okay, I want to move it on the 27th, to start and finish on the 27th. I click schedule, everything is adjusted to start at the last hour of the bend and to start here. You can immediately see one thing: the line that I've manually moved has been locked. It has been colored by red. I hope in the video you can see it, but red line means this is locked. So we forced it to a specific date. In the same manner, if I want, I can select all the cutting and move them on the 26 or even in the 25. Let's do move to date. 25 is Saturday, let's do it on Friday. Okay, I do scheduling. Okay, I managed to reset everything. Hope that the concept was clear anyway. I will redo it. Move to date. I want to move to the 27. Okay, and I will move all of them, always right click to the 24. Here we are. So we fixed manually the schedule. What have we done? We have simply said for each operation what is the time that the operation will be performed. Which is the next step? The next step is to plan for every day the required work, so that for every day you can use at the top your resources. Every time that we move manually, the resource is automatically locked. The operation is automatically locked, and you can understand because it's red. Here you have two buttons to make lock and unlock planning. Which is the difference? Something which is locked cannot be moved. So if I enter new orders, the planning which is locked will not be moved. Will always be like that. The cutting of this order will not move from the 24. So the 24 will have some time already scheduled for something. The closing has not been locked. It means that at the next schedule, as it is not locked, this work order can be rescheduled to better complement some criteria of the algorithm that defines the machine. You can repeat this operation to schedule, lock, unlock for all the operation. When you have defined for each day, which is the set of work order that have to be processed, you select all the data of a specific date. So I select everything from the 24 and I do the work operation. With the Gantt, the good criteria is to work with one batch for each day. So I will create one batch that I will code 1021 to represent the October 21st date. Here we are. See, and I have created my batch with the 3 order. In the same way, I don't know why I said 24, 21st, it was 24, but the program was more able than me, so I simply missed no problem. I will go to change the name of the batch that I've just created. It was the October 24. This is just for cinema. I will do the same with all the other work order. I will create a batch for the 27, October 27. Now he has created the batch, and the same for closing. And here we are. So we created 3 batches, one for each day. So now if I go in the working menu, let's group by batch. I have the 3 batches here, and here I have my 3 work order ready to be optimized. So here I will have all the units that have to be cut of this material for this day. I hope that this quick introduction has been clear enough. Do not hesitate to contact us for requests or details.